Hello and welcome back to the Women's Basketball Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Doyle, for a second episode of the week. I know we'll go 1 week without, another week with two. There's no consistency, but we're working with it. And today's guest, it just gets better and better. We've got Oakland Wolves star, Danni McCray. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing, Nathan?
I'm good, thank you very much. How's your time off being with the international window? Have you enjoyed a nice little break?
Yeah, it was really nice. I went to Manchester to see the GB national team play, so it was really good.
Oh, so you were keeping up with basketball, were you? I love that in your off time, you're obsessed. Well, we'll start off nice and easy for you. Like I said before the podcast, it's nothing difficult. I'm not trying to trip anybody up here. It's just nice to highlight yourself, who's been fantastic the last 2 years in England with Oaklands. But how did that start for you? How did your basketball journey start? How did that become your sport of choice?
For sure. I started playing basketball because of my late aunt. She asked my mom, her daughter played basketball, and then she asked my mom, she was like, oh, you should let Danielle play. Like, I think she'll really like this, because I didn't play any sports. My family's not a big sports family. I was like an outdoorsy dirt kid. I always played. So I think she just thought this would be good for me. But I joined it, and I loved it. It was amazing. Like, watching even my cousin play. She's a really great basketball player as well, and I loved it.
What age was that for you then? What age did you actually get into it?
I was 9 years old, yeah.
Yeah. So with your cousin as well, what has she gone on to do? Is she successful in the sport?
Yeah, her name is Jameer Faulkner. She ended up playing in the WNBA for the Chicago Sky. Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah. So what's she doing? Is she still playing? Obviously not for the Chicago Sky right now, I'm guessing.
Nah, she's retired. She's coaching high school in Florida right now, yeah.
Oh, very nice. I mean, nobody wants to play for the Chicago Sky anyway at the minute, did there? It's a bit of a cursed franchise.
They got work to do for sure.
Oh, honestly, well, that's how I started with my WNBA, right? And I started following them. And obviously I was into it anyway, and I really like Angel Reese and what she does. But every decision they seem to make seems to be a disaster, doesn't it?
Yes.
Anyway, you went through the college system and you were at, I'm right to think you were at Ole Miss?
Yeah, Ole Miss, yeah.
What was that like for your time there? Like, how did that develop you as a player?
For sure. Like, I love seeing what they're doing now, but during my time, I felt like we were in the trenches. Like, my freshman year was decent. We did great. Sophomore year is probably like the worst we had that season, but my junior and senior year was when we started taking that trek upwards. We did really well. I know, like, we were like a game or two off from being in the NCAA tournament, like when we were on. But yeah, those last 2 years were much better.
Yeah, so do you keep up with the performances now under Coach Yo? And obviously they've qualified for the NCAA tournament, haven't they? Are you going to be watching that this year and seeing how they get on? Do you still support them?
Yeah, I'm still cheering them on. Coach Yo, even when she first came over there, she reached out and just made sure she talked to like even the former players. She's really great, and I love keeping up with them and just seeing all the success that the team is having now. It's so good to see.
I noticed I think it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago as well. I think she didn't call out the fans, but she asked for a response, and obviously I think the arena got quite full. That's the impact of her. That's what she's doing. How much would you have loved that when you were playing? Is that now you see the way the college games develop, and especially even in the NCAA tournament, how much exposure they're getting? Is that something you look back on and you think, wow, I wish I was in it now? Or do you kind of take the response that you're proud that you kind of helped build it up in that way?
Yeah, I love to see where they're at now. I think that, doors open because the people behind them, did a lot of the work as well. So I love seeing, I mean, of course, I would have loved to play with all those fans as well. I felt like we knew all our fans because there were so little. So we knew everyone who was coming in there on the regular. But I still love it for the kids now. This younger generation coming up and they're playing, and they get to play in where they should be. Like, this is what women's basketball deserves. This is what women's sports deserves, to be playing in like such big crowds. How hard they work, it's amazing to see.
Yeah, you obviously keep up with the NCAA, and I love that. It wasn't on the question list, but I get a bit obsessed with it. Do you have any predictions for this tournament? Is there any? I know, obviously, UConn are top of everything, and people like Sarah Strong and Izzy Fudd, people are kind of expecting them to win it all. Do you have any dark horses for the tournament that you think will go ahead and win it?
So, I mean, I'm always rooting for Ole Miss, of course. South Carolina, I think the SEC is just such a strong conference. I still love the SEC. So South Carolina for sure. I got my eyes on Texas and UCLA. Those are
Yeah.
like my top teams that I'm looking at.
Yeah, if South Carolina and Texas match up again, I know they hit up in the SEC tournament final. I got that totally wrong. I thought Carolina would dominate that. Do you expect South Carolina to kind of come back fighting?
Yeah, for sure. Just knowing who Dawn Staley is, like she recruited me when I was coming up. Like she's a competitor. Her players are competitors. She's definitely going to come up with a game plan for them for sure.
Also, she recruited you, did she?
Yeah.
What was she like back then? Because obviously now what she's done with South Carolina is amazing. And obviously she's a renowned winner. Back then, did she have a similar attitude? Would she still have that similar drive?
Yeah, because when I was coming up, she was in her build up. Like South Carolina was like they were on that trek up at the same time too. So um I remember going in for a visit with her. She's very methodical, like very strategic in how she thinks, um, how she's putting together her team and stuff. She's a very, very smart coach. Like you can sense that. And I was quiet, a super quiet kid even back then. So I was trying to take it in and also be strategic myself, like trying to listen and hear about the school and everything. But yeah, she's a super smart coach for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm halfway through a book. My wife bought it for us ages ago, and since we had our daughter, I've not been able to get through it all, but just seems like she's one of these people that's had, obviously, she started in Philadelphia, and you don't realise the stories like women like yourself and she went through. Like, you don't hear about that as much now, so it's such an interesting story, like, to hear what you went through on the. I don't know how you experienced it, but she mentions how, when she used to play basketball on the street, she never seen anything as like sexism. She kind of just thought it was a basketball. But then as she grew up, she kind of started to realise she was a bit naive. Is that anything? And if you don't have to answer this at all, if it's something that bothers you, is that something you experienced as well? Maybe a naivety towards it, or was it something that never really came round your way?
No, I think when you're first playing basketball, especially for me, I don't think about any, gender with it. It's just basketball. We just playing,
Yeah.
especially growing up. I used to play at like the Salvation Army near my house, and there were just guys that were coming in. So I played against a lot of guys a lot of times, and I didn't think anything of it. No one made a big deal about it.
Yeah.
But as the sports goes, as get to higher levels, and as sport going on, you start to see the differences as far as like how they treat male players versus how, female players are treated and the resources behind that women players get versus what male players get. So I think that's when I first started to see is like when I made it to the college level and then beyond that. But before then, just playing back.
Yeah, I think, like you say, obviously with me, I've always played like football my whole life, and obviously being on the men's side, I've seen nothing of it. I've always enjoyed women's sports, but I was quite ignorant towards it. Now I'm in the writing and the podcast side. You do notice quite a lot how, and I've said it before, it's not just like, because obviously it would be nice if the women were paid the same as men, but that's not what yous are asking for from my perspective when I've spoken to people. And you see quite quick that the effort levels towards the women's game, even things like the way they put fixtures there so you could have fans attend and little things, it's a crazy difference.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, moving back onto the positive side of it, sorry about that. I tend to rant and digress quite a lot. You've obviously coming out of college. What was the aim for you? Was it always basketball or nothing? So were you seeking opportunities overseas and in the US? What was your career path and what were the aims?
For sure. When I played at Ole Miss, I studied graphic design. So when I graduated, I knew I wanted to play basketball. Like that was my plan A, but I also wanted to be a graphic designer as well. I thought pro, like as soon as, I was able to sign with an agent and everything, I was looking for a team. But at the same time, I was also like submitting my resume out to job to like freelance with them at the same time. But yeah, I was like very dual career paths for me.
So when you first started, were you doing the graphic design while playing, or was it kind of you got quite lucky and landed your first basketball job without having to do the graphic design side?
I did both. So I got my first graphic design gig before I got my first team. And then even while I played on the team, I still was getting gigs and like pushed myself out there. Like I had designed my whole little website and everything. Like I was very new to it. I still remember some of my like younger graphic designs that I used to put out. But yeah, I was doing both at the same time. But I did start graphic design like a couple months before I started my first team.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you can give me some hints if you want, because my stuff is terrible. I just throw random things together. So obviously playing overseas, you have played in the US, Germany and Lithuania. How different is each culture? Because obviously you're moving, especially as a young woman, you're moving from country to country. How different is that culture from the US, and how difficult is it to adapt while you're also learning the trade of basketball?
For sure. It's really difficult, especially when you like it's easier in countries like the UK or in Australia where at least English is spoken. Like there's no like large language barrier. Of course, like differences in slang or something. I might say sidewalk, y'all say pavement. So a couple of differences, but it's not too crazy. But in countries like Germany or Lithuania, it's a little bit harder as far as language barrier. You have to basically you need to learn the language a little bit to help yourself. It just makes it easier to adapt. And then of course in culture, in the US it's more common to have like ACs in your AC in your unit. You might could hear in the summertime. It's like it's really hot. We gotta
You
open.
can't get anything done.
So it's a big difference. But I've always loved traveling. I love experiencing new cultures. I love eating too. So I like every culture I go to. I'm always looking for like different foods. But yeah, it's definitely a tough adjustment. But I think once you start to understand what you like, what makes you comfortable, adjusting to that as quickly as possible, and you're good.
Which was the best culture for you, Germany or Lithuania? And like, in terms of levels of basketball, which one was actually better, do you think?
I would probably say Germany. I really liked it over there. And I enjoyed like not just the competition, but culture wise, I really love like the food, the different they have a lot of like churches and cathedrals and things like that, like very, very detailed buildings. I went to a lot of those. So I really liked it over there. I always it's really hard for like Lithuania or like when I played in Sweden or countries where it's like super cold. Like I remember being in Lithuania and like the snow's like up to my knees and
Oh,
like trenching and like trying to practice. So they got a lot against them as far as like the weather. It's tough. But nah, I really like Germany. Between Lithuania and Germany, Germany for sure.
is the styles of basketball much different? Because you mentioned Sweden as well. Can you tell like the difference in fundamentals, or is it quite similar?
Um, I think it was quite similar. I remember differences as far as like in Australia, I felt like players were stronger. It just felt like they were stockier. I don't know if it's the brand, the brand that they eat over there or the Wheaties, but they're really strong and a lot more focused on shooting, like from really great shooters over there. I feel like here in Germany, Sweden, a lot more focused on fundamentals. A lot of really fundamentally sound players. And then I think in Lithuania too, speed, just getting up and down the court. It was like that. Spain was like that as well. Just speed. They were just athletics as players.
When you were in Australia, whereabouts were you based? I know because it's my favourite country on the planet because I've got like relatives over there, so I've visited Perth. I was really young, so I was desperate to move over. I was going to do a working holiday, stay over there. It never quite came, and now I'm married with a child, so not that I'm holding any grudges at all, but it's an amazing country, so I was just wondering whereabouts were you placed?
I was actually in Perth. Like I was in NBL one.
Really?
Yeah, so it's the Perth area.
So yeah, that I don't know how well you remember it, but I think it's called Joondalup. I think that's where my
Yeah.
granddad stays. Oh really, you remember that, do you?
That team. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that team. I played for Kalgoorlie, which actually wasn't in Perth. We were like six. We were like the furthest team away from the area. We were like 6 hours away. But yeah, the area that we usually played in, as far as like away games, was in the Perth area. Yeah.
How did you like the culture over there then? Because I know when I was over there, everything seemed so relaxed. Even when I'd go for a beer, it was like the lightest, nicest drinking you'd ever have. You'd look at the beach. It was in Joondalup, and there was a nice beach bar, and we'd just look over while people are kicking the ball. Or obviously EFL, Australian football's massive over there, so they're like throwing their ball about. How did you enjoy the culture?
I really enjoy it. It's really, really nice over there. Just the culture, the weather. I really loved it. I had a lot of fun over there in Perth. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you did you travel. Oh, what's that place called? It's further down. It's not Perth. It's Fremantle. Did you ever go over that way or not?
No, I saw their. I know I saw a game, but I think I saw it in Perth. So I never went. Actually, I don't think I went down to Fremantle, but I remember seeing their AFL team play.
Oh well, they've got a prison there, right? And we went because there was a bar there called Little Creatures. So I'm going to sound like I don't drink anymore, by the way. I'm going to sound like an alcoholic here, but we went for a few drinks in this place called Little Creatures. And then there was a prison, but we went when it was dark because my uncle he was like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it dark. And they said how it's haunted. So we went in, and I'm crazy bad with scary stuff. Like literally last night, my wife crawled over to us and screamed. So we were in there, and do you know where you just feel like people are watching you? So there was like dark windows, and they're telling these stories, and they're like, it felt like people was watching us. And then my uncle asked, he was like, "You can stay here overnight. Do you want to?" And I was like, "Nope." No,
Yeah.
you've got absolutely. Honestly, if you ever get to go back over, you've got to try it, Danny. It's fantastic, but very scary.
Nah, I can't even take horror movies.
It's definitely. I mean, horrors aren't as bad now, but I remember watching so many. Nightmare on Elm Street. I nearly cried. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, my big sister used to try and get me to watch Jeepers Creepers, and I was done.
Nah, it's not for me either. So I'm glad we've got that in common. So now you've obviously away from Australia. We'll get back to the UK. You've landed in Oaklands. How's that been for you? Because you've obviously spent 2 years here now. Last year you had such a talented roster as well. Obviously yourself, Sam Ashby, Shanice Beckford-Norton was there. You went on to win the SLB Cup. For you, how good was that roster, and how did you find your first year in the UK?
I loved it. I always had like England on my bucket list of countries I wanted to play in. So to get over here, one was amazing, and then to land in Oaklands was even better. And I remember when I first talked with Coach Lee to come over here, I didn't really know what the makeup of the team was going to be like. I just knew that he was telling me, they were going to be investing a lot more into their program and wanted to bring in, a lot of players. And I liked the vision and belief that they had for the team. And then once getting here and meeting, Shanice and Sam and everyone and seeing how they played, it was just even better to experience and to play with them. Like we really had like a really fun time playing basketball.
Because obviously you went unbeaten for so long of the regular season. How did that feel in that moment? Did you feel undefeatable? Was that like the most confident you felt as a player?
I don't think we felt like undefeatable. It just felt like we were doing really well. I think it was because it was like our first season playing together. For us, we were in just as disbelief as the league was. We knew we were good and we were playing, we would win and things like that. But it was just like, oh gosh, we're like doing really good. Like we keep winning these games. It was like we were having continued shock and success at the same time.
Obviously, you did end up losing the Betty Cadona Trophy final at the Gladiators. What was that like? Because obviously, in the moment in the regular season, like we said, up until that point, I believe you were undefeated or just undefeated. What was that losing that final heading into that game? Because obviously, you worked so hard. Was that a major disappointment?
That was really tough for us because of course, any player, we want to win every game. We were a very competitive team. So just losing that game, we really wanted to, like, if we could have it back, if we could get like extra 5 minutes on the clock because we were it's so close. We really wanted that back. But that was a.
Yeah, obviously you did turn around though. SLB Cup final, you did end up winning. What's the differences in feeling like that for a player? Because obviously you've gone from a super low to a super high. How much of a relief was it winning that game and getting over the line?
It was really good. We felt like we redeemed ourselves from the trophy final. It was a really great win, great team win. We played so hard and we prepared really well for that game.
Yeah, I've got to ask you about Shanice Beckford-Norton as well, because as a player for you, I notice when you're on the court, you leave everything on there. You're physical. You're going to try and grab every rebound. You're going to put up shots where you can. Does Shanice Beckford-Norton relate to you well in terms of her pace, the way she gets up and down the court? It seems like you two really work well together. Is that how you feel about the situation as well?
Yeah, like I love playing with Shanice, like, because I feel like even as small as she is, she plays as hard and as fast as even faster than me, but she plays as hard as fast as I like to play. Like I feel like our styles of game are very similar. When I'm running up and down the court on the fast break, I know she's somewhere near me. Like I'm usually having my eyes shifting, looking for her, and I feel like it's vice versa. When she's coming up on the fast break, I'm trying to stay near her eye line so that if she needs help, because usually no one can stop her speed wise. So I'm telling her, just go to the basket, go to the basket. In case she needs me, let me find an open spot. But it's really like that. Like we're two players that will dive on the ground for the ball. We're gonna fight for every rebound. Like I love playing with her.
Yeah, I've got to say, last year watching you, I think it always felt like no matter who was on the court, especially yourself, Shanice, Sam, it just felt like there was 5 players who were there and they just wanted to win. Is that kind of the style of play that was put in there? Because it felt like you all shared the points quite equally. You had 12.9 points. 12.9 points, 6.7 rebounds, 2.3 steals per game. Your leadership presence was obviously there, you could tell. Was the style of play just to share the ball and get the best shots possible? Or was there a designated person on that offensive end where they were meant to be leading the offense?
I was always to share the ball because we knew that we were all players that were good, but we all had our spots. And you knew that like sometimes I would come down even on fast breaks. Me and Sam had a connection where it was just like, if I'm coming down on fast break, Sam always ran behind me. That's not typical. Usually guards run wide when they're coming down, but Sam always came behind me because we knew that I'm always thinking like, if I don't got it, I can just kick it back without even looking. I would kick it back to her. I knew she was always there, but that's her shot. Like that was her 3-point shot. She needs, I'm looking for her to cut to the basket, or if I need to go set a screen so that she can drive to the basket. Like that's what her spot. And for me, it was just like mid-range shots, anything around that free throw line area, or honestly, any mid-range shot they were looking. So it was like we looked for each other, for our opportunities for each other. So like whatever spot that was for you, we knew it, and we wanted to make that happen for each other.
Does that take long to adjust to each other? Because obviously, with you coming into different teams, you've just said there how you, Sam, and Shanice kind of it was like a telepathic thing and you knew how each other liked to play. How long does it take you to actually adjust to that?
I think at the pro level, it really takes like a couple weeks of just practicing. I think when we first got here last season, we had a lot of preseason games, a lot of practices where we really got to learn one another, and we made it an emphasis to learn one another. I think Coach Lee set us up with a really great system where we were learning about each other, and then like even we used to have this thing called like the hot seat, where each person would tell things about like 10 facts about each other, where it emphasized that sort of mindset that you're not just here to just come play basketball, just play your game or just play how you want to play. You're coming here to learn about each other and play in a team setting. So it was really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. But when Sam left in the summer, obviously that must have been a big blow for you. Were you expecting her to leave? Did you know she was going to, or was it a bit of a shock for you?
No, I wasn't sure about anyone. I had my own self, trying to figure out what I wanted to do next season myself. But it was cool to see, like, even if whether she was coming to play with us or now seeing her play in Germany for Norlingen, which is a team I used to play for. I'm always rooting for her. Like, no matter what, my teammates at any point in stage in my life, they're always my friends. So I'm still rooting on Sam. Like, she's doing amazing over there. So it was cool to see her going to that next step in her.
Yeah, obviously it's a big blow for Oaklands though when you lose a player of her caliber. Luckily they retained, like you said, the kinds of yourself, Shanice, but it was a 3-3 start this season. Is that natural, especially in the UK where the rosters are changing every year? Is that kind of natural to kind of find your momentum, find your rhythm, find a new game plan? Was that normal? Did it worry you at all?
I don't think it worried me much because to me, it was just all part of learning about each other. I remember this season, we didn't have as much time as we had last season to really get gel and get to know each other. But now I felt like at the beginning of the season, that was just us getting to know each other, our coach getting to know us and what style of play that we're going to play together. Because with new players, they have different skill sets. You have to adjust to it. And I feel like it's just been a process adjusting to each other.
Yeah, and I mean, it's obviously worked out, like you say, because you're obviously right. You're now 9-4 in the season, and if we're honest, You seem like the most informed team in the league, maybe beside the Hatters. Look, postseason's essentially clinched, and obviously you're still working extra things out. How far can this roster go? And if you're trending in such a positive direction, do you believe you can go all the way? You could maybe win the playoff finals this year?
I really like that. I think that we have still further to go. I still think there's another level in this team to open up. And that's really nice to know since there's still a lot of games to me still left, plus the playoffs. So I think that there's definitely another level for us to get to. And when we hit that level, that's the scary part. That's when we're going all the way for sure.
Yeah, can I ask as well, because it's something that just popped into my head, because obviously you're seeing the first few games in the season you weren't worried. It was 3-3, you were finding your way, and now you're getting better. How much does especially with just one, I think it's one place misses out, one or two places in the SLBW on the postseason, so essentially it's kind of, as long as you have a good end of the season, you'll clinch it. How much does the regular season actually matter in terms of results for you, so the standings? Obviously you want to be at the top and win a trophy, but for you, is it more important to get into the postseason and play well? Do you actually pay much attention to the standings? Or is it more about the style of play that you find?
To me, I always focus more on just playing well with my teammates. Me personally, I don't look at the standings very much. I just want to be at the top. Like, however many games I need to get to the top, that's all I'm looking. Right. Yeah, to me, I just want to play well with my teammates. So as much learning as we can get out, just playing hard in practice to challenge each other, to make each other better. That's what I'm focusing on. So that by the time we get to playoffs, there's not much for us to do. It's more strategy wise. Let's just change up for whichever team we're playing and do what we need to do.
So if you come up against, say, the Hatters who are top or the Gladiators in the final, how confident are you as a player that this team is maybe not ready to go yet, but they can be ready to take it to that extra step? Do you believe you match up with them teams well?
Yes, for sure. I think we've been really doing well. I know the last time we played the Gladiators, we were able to pull out a win against them. And that's just us getting better as a team, gelling well as a team, knowing what fits and getting to our spots.
Yeah. Well, outside of the Oaklands and the Gladiators and the Hatters, obviously, as a person who just watches it, you can obviously see on television certain stuff, but as a player, you have a feel on the court. Is there any teams you've been maybe that aren't at the top that you've been impressed with and found actually quite difficult to play against this year?
Manchester has been really, really great. I really like their team, as well as Newcastle. Newcastle has been doing really well as well. I think those are two dangerous teams that you can't fall asleep on. They can win against anyone, any night. Yeah.
Yeah, Manchester's a perfect segue into the cup final. Obviously, again, because you've played, it's easy to guess that the Hatters are going to win. Do you believe Manchester can actually match up well against the Hatters and cause them problems? Or do you think maybe the Hatters will just run away with this one?
I think they can match up well. They have really great players on their team. I respect that team a lot. But it's gonna be tough. My friend Megan Mullins plays for the Hatters. So I was like, it's gonna be tough to stop her. She's probably one of the most athletic players I know. So I think they got a great one. They have a great four over there at Manchester who can try and slow her down, but that's gonna be the key. If you can stop Mo, you can do some damage.
So if your coach, let's put you as coach for Manchester for 1 second. You've just mentioned Megan Mullins, who is she's a phenomenal player. How would you personally set up a team to stop her? We'll just pretend Megan won't listen. She won't listen to this. So how would you give the hints to Manchester to put Megan maybe isolated and stop her from scoring as much? Or is that not that easy?
I don't think it's that easy, but to me, the best defense is no defense. One, you can't let her catch the ball. Don't let her. Like that's always my first thing for defense. If I can keep my player from not catching the ball, then I got to play defense on them. And then two, if she does get the ball, you got to play close and tough. Close and tough. Don't give her space because she's too fast. If she gets speed on you, she's going by you.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, personally, I'm 5'5" or 5 foot. I'll give myself 5'6". I've got no chance against any of you guys because you're tall, athletic. I'm just a small lump that sits around and does nothing. So To
Ah,
finish up anyway, Danny, I would love to know, because it is the cup final on Sunday. Obviously, you're a neutral watcher. You'll be watching from maybe not the stands, but from the television. What are your predictions for the game? Can you give us a scoreline maybe and a winner?
okay, I'm going for the Hatters only because both plays for them. So I got them pulling out the win, but I do think it's going to be a game. Manchester is not a team to be played around with. I think they've been working really hard this season. They're another team who I think started a little slower this season, but has been really gelling well. They have a great young player. I think she just played with the GB team as well this past break. I think the score is probably going to be around the 50s or the 60s, only because I think great defense will be played for sure. To really slow each other down. But I say 60 to 65. Hatters coming out with the win.
That's a good guess. We'll clip that one and put it on when the Manchester win by 15 or 20. We'll make sure to put it out there.
Right? Oh my goodness.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Danny. So when's Oakland's next game then? When should people look out for Oakland's?
For sure. Our next game is March 28th. We'll be playing Essex Rebels at home. It's going to be a really great game. It's actually a doubleheader. We'll be playing at 2:15, and then our men's team will be playing right after their first playoff game. They've been playing really well this season. They went undefeated this season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they did it really well. And for the D2 men's league, so they'll be playing right after at 5 o'clock. So it's going to be a really, really fun time in our gym for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome as well. Essex 3, U4. That's going to be a massive game. So all the listeners on the side, remember that all the SLBW games are live on YouTube, and that's definitely not one that should be missed. So again, Danny, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. And remember, guys, like, share, and subscribe. We're dropping a Women's Weekly podcast every week. Fingers crossed. So make sure you tune in and give us some more shares and subscribes. Thank you very much, everyone.